Friends, in the fourth session, we are going to tell you about various sampling plans. We will give you a brief idea about the acceptance sampling plan. Then we will also explain you about operating characteristics curve, or in short we normally call it OC curve. We will also explain AQL, that is accepted quality level, and LTP PD, lot tolerance percentage defect. Then we have also described the producer risk and the consumer risk in the coming session. If you recall, for any purchase, when you are purchasing either groundnuts or anything, you always try to take the items from a portion which is looking good to you. Similarly, when we go for a inspection, we always try to collect a sample which gives the true picture of the complete lot of the product. To avoid 100% inspection, we go for sampling. Sampling means we are collecting a small portion of items and we decide some rejection number or acceptance number. Therefore, we can define a sampling plan is a plan for acceptance sampling that precisely specifies the parameters of sampling processes and the acceptance of or rejection criteria. The variables to be specified include the size of the lot, the size of the sample inspected from the lot, and the number of defects above which a lot is rejected, that is small c, and the number of samples that to be taken. Because if the quantity of product is 10,000, we cannot make a decision only by taking one sample. We have to go for multiple samples. That is called the sampling plan. There are different types of sampling plan. Some call for single sampling, in which a random sample is drawn from every lot. We make 2, 3 or 4 lots and we try to take one sample, and each item in the sample is examined and labeled as a good or bad. Depending on the number of defects or bad items found, the entire lot is either accepted or rejected. For example, we take a very good example. We have a lot size of 50 cookies is equated for acceptance by random inspecting 10 cookies from the lot. The cookies may be inspected to make sure they are not broken or burned. If 4 or more of 10 cookies inspected are bad, the entire lot is rejected. We assume that the 4 cookies or the 10 cookies are the representative of whole lot. So if 40% are bad, we assume that lot is also not good. In this example, the lot size capital N is equal to 50, the sample size is 10 because we are taking 10 items from the lot of 50, and the maximum number of defects at which a lot is to be accepted, that is C is equal to 4. That means if the defect is 4 or less, we accept it. These parameters defines the acceptance sampling plan. Another type of acceptance sampling is called the double sampling. This provides an opportunity to sample the lot for second times if the result of the first sample are inconclusive. In double sampling, we first sample a lot of goods according to the present criteria for definite acceptance or rejections. Once we call that the result of first sample is inclusive, that means the 10 sample which we have taken from the lot of 50, they all are good, or the 2 are bad or 2 are good. So we are not making any decision. That means that the results are inconclusive. However, if the results fall in the middle range, they are considered to be inconclusive and a second sample is drawn. Suppose instead of 4, we decide that if it is between 3 and 4, and in most of the cases we are getting 4, what decision we will make? Or if we are getting 3, then we will go for the second lot or the second sample. For example, a water treatment plant may sample the quality of water 10 times in random interval throughout the day. That makes a multiple sampling. Criteria may be set for acceptable or unacceptable water quality, such as 0.05% of chlorine or 0.1% of chlorine. That is the range of acceptance. However, a sample of water containing between 0.05% to 0.1% chlorine is inconclusive and calls for the second sample. That means if in our sample we are all the times getting the percentage of chlorine equal to 0.05 or less than 0.05, the decision is towards the acceptance of the lot. But if we are getting a value between 0.05 and 0.1, then our decision is inconclusive. We will go for the second lot. In addition to single and double sampling, there are multiple sampling plan. In multiple sampling plan, which are very similar to double sampling plan, except the criteria are set for more than 2 samples. The decisions as to which sample plan or the sampling plan to select has a great deal to do with the cost involved in the sampling, the time consumed by the sampling, and the cost of passing on a defective item. In general, if the cost of collecting a sample is relatively high, then we will prefer single sampling plan. An extreme example is collecting a biopsy from a hospital patient, because the actual cost of getting the sample is very high. We want to get a large sample and sample only at once. The opposite is also true. When the cost of collecting the sample is low, but the actual cost of testing is very high. This may be the case at a water treatment plant where the collecting the water is inexpensive, but the chemical analysis is very costly. Now we will come to the operating characteristics curve, which is very simple to or very same to acceptance sampling curve which we have seen in our earlier session. In OC curve, we will see how the different sampling plan have different capabilities for discriminating between good and bad lot. I would like to explain you that good lot is that lot which contains a good percentage of non-defective items, while bad lot is that lot which contains quite good percentage of defective part. At one extreme, 100% inspection which has preferred has discriminating power. That means we cannot go for 100% inspection. However, as the size of sample inspected decreases, so does the chance of accepting the defective lot also. We can show the discriminating power of sampling plan on a graph by means of an operating characteristics curve. This curve shows the probability or chance of accepting lot given various proportion of defects in the lot. A typical OC curves has x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis shows the percentage of items that are defective in a lot. That is called the lot quality. Y-axis shows the probability or the chances of accepting the lot. You can see if we use 100% inspection, we are certain of accepting the only lots with 0 defects. This picture shows you a typical OC curves. You just see it is a type of a S or S curve, or the opposite of S curve shape. On the y-axis we have a percentage defective, and on x-axis we have a percentage defective, while on y-axis we have a probability of accepting. You will see I have made 2 zones. In the bottom, that means the chances of accepting a bad lot, and if you see the another zone where the chances of rejecting the good lot. A typical OC curves, however, as the proportion of defects in the lot increases, our chances of accepting the lot decreases. For example, if we have 90% of probability of accepting a lot with 5% defect and 80% of probability of accepting a lot with 8% defect. As the number of defect or the percentage of defect increases, the probability decreases. I just want to show you another curve where we have a different values of C. That means value of C and value of small n. If we are increasing the number of sample size, or we are increasing the number of acceptance number, then also our shape of the curve also varies. Regardless of which sampling plan we have selected, it is said that the plan is not perfect. That is, there is still a chance of accepting a lot that are bad or rejecting a good lot. In case of OC curve, if the curve is steeper, the better our sampling plan is for discriminating between good and bad. We have shown you figure in which we have drawn 3 OC curves A, B, C. Curve A is most discriminating and the C is least discriminating. You can see that the steeper the slope of the curve, the more discriminating is the sampling plan. More discriminating means it clearly differentiates between good lot and the bad lot. When you go for the 100% inspection, there are chances of certain amount of risk for consumers in accepting defective lot or certain amount of risk for the producer in rejecting a good lot. Now we will discuss about the average outgoing quality or AOQ. In short, we call it AOQ. As we observed with the OC curve, the higher the quality of the lot, the higher the chance it will be for acceptance. Conversely, the lower the quality of the lot, the greater chance that it will be rejected. Given that some lots are accepted and some are rejected, it is useful to compute average outgoing quality of lots to get a sense of overall outgoing quality of the product. That is why we try to calculate or determine AOQ. Assuming that all the lots have the same proportion of defective items, the average outgoing quality can be computed as AOQ is equal to P bracket n minus n upon n, where P is the probability of accepting a given lot, small p is the proportion of defective item in a lot, n is the size of the lot, and n is the sample size. Now we are taking one example. There is one company which is making a printed circuit board. The vendor produced the board to a AQL of 2% defective and is willing to run a 5% risk alpha, that is the producer risk of having a lots of this level or fewer defective rejected. The company considered the lot 8% or more defective, LTPD lot tolerance percentage defective, unacceptable, and wants to ensure that it will accept such poor quality lot not more than 10% of that is called the beta or the producer risk. Alpha is your consumer risk and beta is your producer risk. A large shipment has just delivered, so our objective is to find out the value of n, that is the sample size, value of C, that is the acceptance limit for the given lot. Now if we recall the data, AQL 2%, that is 0.02, alpha 0.05. Similarly, we can find out from the numerical. Thus, appropriate sampling plan is 4 and n is the sample size. Up to 4 defects found in the lot will be accepted. Now that we will show for the various acceptance number, that is small c, corresponding to the particular value of the sample size, and we assume that our sample size is constant. This table will give you the different values corresponding to the value of C. Since the value of C is 4, so we will choose the value corresponding to the value of C, that is 4. Friends, we are discussing the solution for a numerical which we have shown to you. In this present case, the ratio of LTPD and AQL is equal to 4, and according to this, if you just look at the table which we have given, the ratio is 4.06 when C is equal to 4, which is nearly to the ratio of LTPD and AQL. If you just see the value of NP at suffix 0.10, it comes to be 7.99, and if you simply take the value of N, it comes out to be approximately 100. So our sample size for the given problem should be 100. Now we will give you a simple example of the control chart. We have discussed about drawing of control chart in session 3. Now with the help of example, we will try to draw the control chart. This example says a production manager at a light bulb plant has inspected the number of defective light bulbs in 10 random sample with 30 observation each. This table will provide you the different samples and the number of defectives in each lot and number of observations, that is 30 is the sample size. Now our job is to construct a 3 sigma control chart, that is Z is equal to 3 for this information. You can use Excel sheet, and I have also drawn the Excel sheet to solve your problem, and you will find it very easy if you just start learning how to make the formula in your Excel sheet. We have to draw the P chart because both the total sample size and the number of defects are provided. You just see the last row. We have calculated low control limit LCL, that is 0, and UCL, that is 0.181303, and we have calculated the value of P as well as sigma P also. You just see that with the help of certain formula, we can also calculate the value of UCL and LCL, and we can draw the chart, that is your P chart. You have a low control limit, you have a central limit, you have a upper control. If I define you the P chart, you will find that all the points on the line are within lower control limit and upper control limit. That means even though you are getting the defective, but the process is under control. There is nothing to worry about the defective. The defects are coming because of the random errors. Now we will provide you certain definitions, just like acceptance quality level. This term AQL refers to the level of quality of product that is to be judged by the consumer to be good in terms of the percentage of defective. Producer risk is referred to the probability that the lots of acceptable quality level will not be accepted. Lot tolerance percentage defective or LTPD, this refers a small properties of bad components somewhat larger than AQL in a lot, such that lot having more than this proportion of defective component have a small probability of getting accepted. Manufacturer risk, it is the small probability of a batch being good or even better than AQL but yielding a bad sample, thus getting rejected. Purchaser risk is that risk in which, or it is defined as the probability of a lot being bad or even worse than LTPD, but yielding a good sample, thus getting a chance of being accepted. These are the two terms which are very common. One is your producer risk or the manufacturer risk, and another one is purchaser risk or the consumer risk. A sample may be defined as the number of items or the component parts drawn from a lot, batch or population. Control chart is a day-to-day graphical representation of collected information. It deducts various or the variation in processing and warns if there is any departure from the specified tolerance limit. Operating characteristics curve we have defined. It represents the probability of acceptance and the percentage defective. Reorder point, which comes under the inventory, is a point where you are placing the order. Lead time is the time between placing the order and receiving the order. So in today's session we have explained you about the statistical quality control, in which we have provided information about the sampling, various types of sampling plan, acceptance planning or acceptance sampling plans, operating characteristics curves, and how to draw the control chart with the help of one examples. This session provides you about inventory planning, production management, and also about the safety stock and economic order quantity, which we have covered in our second session. Thank you.